Hi, class. I'm going to go ahead and get into this week's questions. So the first one was what was most counterintuitive of Matthew 5 through 7. I found a couple, well, actually, I found a lot compared to when that was written in like today's world. I think one thing that stood out as I was reading it was, well, I could say like one thing I have watched a lot of people, I mean, even people from my work, um, it's about like divorce, like only do it. Um, you know, it wasn't really like something that was known for when that was written. I mean, you had to commit adultery to, I mean, get divorced. And like my husband's father, um, he believed in that. And when him and his mom got divorced, I mean, it was obvious what had happened. I mean, we saw it on a piece of paper or on the counter when we were, I mean, years ago, it was a decade ago, but I mean, we didn't need to see that to know what happened because how strongly he believed in it. And today's world, I see, people having divorce parties and it's like a celebration to get a divorce, which I personally find interesting because I mean, at one point, even if you don't love them now, I mean, at one point you did, and most of this is, um, you know, your children's father, and so I think that, or mother. So I find that personally interesting and counterintuitive to what is, when that was written, or even for me personally, it's giving to the needy was about in there. And I think that, you know, I've had really bad experiences. I met just recently, we were in Portland and we had someone trying to, well, it was fighting someone else, but they were leaning on our car while we were waiting for food. And they had like a bottle and they were throwing it at people. It was the person next to them. And it was just, it's hard watching that and then reading that and thinking, to give, because I don't know if I would, and I stay away from that now because it is so bad there. So to me personally, there was a lot that I could go on each one of them, and so much has changed. I think back, to those times where people were needy. There were still a lot of hardworking and different generations. You could just see it growing. And it's not all bad. And I don't want to say that I would never give. I give out of my paycheck each week. Or each paycheck. So it's not that I don't give. It's just hard. Just different. What stands out? A lot stands out. I really liked the saying. It was, I forgot it. Tomorrow's worries, your tomorrow's worry, or don't fear, it's almost like worry about today, tomorrow's worries, that, I really like that saying. It stood out to me, even though I didn't even fully remember it, but it stood out enough that I will reread it again. But overall, you could definitely tell times have changed from when that was written and to how we are now. The other thing that really stood out to me was it's just about honoring, you with your loved ones, but honoring your enemies. I just think that's so important. Just to always be kind, even when, things go. People can have their bad days and people do things sometimes they regret. And I think that it's just always re-looking at their choices and making sure that I am I am understanding of them as well. And I just think that, I can't really say I have any enemies or even anyone I think of ill, because once something happens, I really don't think of it again. But I do think that, it's hard when you really look at it, but it's easier, and I've had to do it enough time even for my own family. So it doesn't, I guess it gets easier, and then I don't have to have that weight on me. And I just think that's even with regular people. People at my work can do something too that's sometimes interesting, and I just let it go, and then I don't have to worry about it. And what's the world need most? I think what I was just saying, what stood out the most is also what they need. There's a lot of negativity and judgment. Well, judgment was also something we read in the world, and I just think that, I don't think it's a lot of what I see is there's a lot of people where, people have their own lives, let them be how they want to be, but then there's the counter of where one person's life is okay, but then it's not, and it's vice versa. And I think that, I don't know, the world needs more understanding and less judgment, but they can be judged, kindly judged. I do think that is, it's more like not judging. People can have their own, actually that's the wrong word, their own beliefs, right? So like their strong beliefs, and respect it. And I think the world needs more of that. It's okay to have both sides, and you can voice your opinion, and as long as it's professional and courtesy and considerate of others, like that should be allowed. And I see a lot. I don't voice my opinion. I will stay silent in conversations, and it's a lot because of that. I just don't have the energy, or do I care enough for. I'm not going to change my opinions to what I would if people are, really strong opinionated. And I think a lot of people hide behind the social media now, and it's just I've watched my friends have to delete things off of other posts because people just attack like mom posts and stuff. And it's just so sad to see. But I hope everyone has a great week. Thanks. Bye.